generally in the shop floor. So we usually call it as shop floor in industries. What we do is there will be a heavy machinery here. There are so many machineries here, and there will be yellow color line here. So usually there will be yellow color line. So even in the airport also you can see the airports also there will be yellow color line. So whenever you travel in a bus inside an airport, so the bus has to go in a particular route. So maybe they might be forming a route like this. Okay, so that vehicle will be traveling like this. In case if you are going in the shop floor, so mostly what they do is the engineers, the managers, and the technicians want to go inside the shop floor. They usually wear a special kind of shoe. They use a shoes, special kind of shoes when they put it because of it's a purely leather. They should not get any vibrations or they should not get any shock, electrical shock. So that's why they just move with a specially designed shoe, or they have to compulsorily wear a leather shoe. So what happens is they should not cross the boundary. So the boundary should not be crossed. So they should not cross this yellow line. Now in this, whenever they should not cross the yellow line, they have the engineers and the managers are the one who visit. They have to uh, always aware that they should not cross the yellow line. For example, the students like you, we are going for industrial visit to a particular company. Before you go inside the factory or the shop floor, we call the shop floors, they give you a shoe and some other things they might be giving you. So specially designed shoe. Now here the problem here is, since you are all students and we are all outsiders of the company, so we do not know. Sometimes we cross the yellow line. Now the work here is inside a shoe. Inside a shoe, you can design a circuitry in a particular location. Whenever it crosses the yellow line, automatically the device in the shoe gets vibrates. So that means you will get a vibration in your leg. So that immediately you just take your leg from the yellow line and then come back to the side. So I mean in the safer side. So this is one kind of idea that I have suggested for some of the companies, and they understand also. And this is mainly this will be for industries only. But various places we can expect that this yellow line. So let's say you take a railway track also. So in the railway track you are in a platform, so waiting for your vehicle or waiting for the train. So what happens is the train will be coming. This is the platform starting, and somewhere here you will have a yellow line. So usually they say that don't cross the yellow line when the train is approaching. That means that because of the speed of the train, you might be getting hurt. So that's why they. But in the railway station, nobody can wear a shoe. So this yellow line may not be worthwhile in a railway station. But in a company, in a shop floor, so usage of this kind of equipment will be a very good idea. So this project I have already given to one of my final year project students. He has done a final year project on that, and it's halfway through. So he has done it, but I asked him to deploy it on a shoe, and then I asked him to show a demo. But he showed only a physical hardware demo, so not on a shoe. So the complexity here is, the challenge here is, it should not be. I mean, whenever you wear the shoe, you should not aware that such a device is available inside. That is one challenge. Another challenge is, at any point of time there should not be any interaction with the legs, so or your foot. So the hardware circuitry should not be visible outside, so that it touches your feet or your foot or your foot. So this is a challenge here. If any of your team, if you want to take in this one as a project, you can use it, and even we can go for a IPR also. That is patent also we can plan for. Okay. So this is for the today's idea. So I have just given you so a lot of things. So maybe this week till this weekend I will be giving you some ideas. So next week probably by the same Tuesday you can decide on your project title. So maybe I'll give a Google form also, so that you can fill up what kind of what project you are planning to do for this IoT. Maybe once in a while during the Friday class I'll show you some project demonstration also. I mean some simulation, some demonstrations I'll be showing you through Teams. Okay, so how we can use a Contiki operating system for IoT, how we can design all these things I'll be showing you as a demo. Maybe I'll share you some videos as well. So the what I have recorded in the last, I mean in the April and May. So that also I'll be showing you. Okay. So with this, will go to the today's topic on IoT levels of various IoT. So already we have discussed about the characteristics of IoT, the various communication protocols, the various communication models, and the enabling technologies for IoT. We have already discussed about the basic fundamental. Now this is the application levels. So what are the various levels wherein we can increase the complexity from a basic hardware to a advanced technology in IoTs. So that's what we are going to see in this session. So first level, and regarding one more thing is the books. There is one book called as Arshdeep Baha. There is a book. ARS Arshdeep Baha. That is Internet IoT. So in your syllabus it is mentioned. So this book only is the only preference book from this. The complete syllabus is taken. So try to get a book. But here I have been taking this subject for the second time or third time, I suppose. But I don't have any PDF for that. So there is no PDF available in this book. I have searched. In case if you want to search it, you can try out. I have a physical copy with me. So using that copy only, I'm just referring. So in case if you want the book, you just purchase a copy of this book. That's the Introduction to Internet of Things IoT. So this book you just get it. So most of the topics covered in your syllabus are covered in this book, from this book only. So get a book, but there are two books. One of the book I has already uploaded in Moodle. You can download that. That's PDF. But the second book, which is the your main topics are covered from this book, which is not available. So please purchase a copy of this book. So anyhow, for preparing this slide as well, I do not have I need to type everything from the book to this slide. So that's why it's taking so much time for me. So since there is no PDF also available, I cannot even copy the images also. So that's the main issue on this thing. Okay. So try to get a copy of this Arshdeep Baga. So that's the name of the author, Internet of Things by Arshdeep Baga. Okay. Okay. Now we'll come to level number 1. So level number 1 is the basic level of IoT. So what it does is a level IoT system has a single node device, performs sensing, actuation, stores data, performs analysis, hosts the application. So everything comes under one single platform. So that is what the level 1 says. They are suitable for low cost, low complexity solutions where the data involved is not big and analysis requirements are not computationally intensive. So memory, processing power, everything is limited. So very simple applications that we can able to do in the level 1 systems. How the level 1 system looks like, this is the other way. So we have a cloud is one of an option here to store your data. You can see the monitoring node, which is a sensor node here, and we have a device that is connected to there is an IoT device. We have the set of resources, memory and processing power, RAM and processing power. Then we have a controller service and the storage of database. So the database storage maybe something like MySQL, or you can say SQLite. So any simple small database or something. Then to access all these things, we have API called as REST APIs. REST web APIs. Using a mobile app, we can able to design. So again, the mobile app will be local mobile app or just locally controlled any application that we can able to think of. So this is IoT level number 1. So mainly the smart home automation systems. So if you are doing in your smart home, so you can be able to try out this kind of applications. This is level number 1. So that means that basic functionalities, you need not invest more on the processing power or you need not invest any external technologies. All these things will be open APIs. So open APIs means all APIs are free. So all these APIs you can use it, and hardware also some limited hardware you can use it, and you can do the smart home control application. So that is what the first level 1. So you can see here now, it is a smart home application where we have a common controller here. So the control panel is here, the lighting control and the smoke detector, and all other devices are connected to this particular controller. So this is a simple application that we can think of when we design any IoT application. This is level number 1. Next thing is level number 2, slightly complex than the level number 1. It is again single node, performs all the actuation, sensing, all these things. But the data stored here is the cloud. But earlier the first level of application, cloud is only an option. That's the optional one. But now here the data is stored in the cloud. Mainly the application is usually cloud based, and they are involved slightly. The computation power is slightly higher when compared to the level 1 systems. you can see here. Now we have segregated two things into here, local and cloud. So there are two options here, local and the cloud. So in the local here we have monitoring node and performance analysis, and it will just read the data and store the data everything to the cloud directly. So this is how the way a monitoring node can able to send all the data to the cloud. And again we have the device, we have the resource, and we have the controller service as we did in local here. But here when the cloud we wanted to send to the cloud, it is based on the REST WebSocket communication. So based on the REST API, it is sent to the REST WebSocket communication. Then through a mobile app, it's completely stored in the cloud. So the database also will be residing on the cloud platform. So this way, the level 2 application slightly higher. It will be, the applications could be maybe not in the inside the home, maybe outside the home. So one example here is smart irrigation. So let's say you have a field, you want to control everything in the field. So during the nights, you cannot go to the field. So still you want to pour in water, pump in water. If the humidity level goes down, or the temperature or the moisture level goes down, so you have to pump in water. So there you have to have an onboard Wi-Fi or 3G or 4G connectivity. Then in that case, you can go for level 2 applications. So this is number level 2, slightly complex when compared to level number 1. Next thing is level 3. So level 3 IoT system has a single node. Again, it is a single node. But the data is stored and analyzed in the cloud. The application is also cloud based. So level 3 is on cloud based. Is it visible to you? The level 3 slide?
No, sir. We cannot see the level 3.
It could be level 3, right?
It says that smart irrigation and level 2. The slide says, yeah. Yeah, now it's level 3, sir. This is the block diagram, this tracking system. Yeah, this is the level 3 here.
Yes. So this is the level 3. Okay. So level 3 data is stored and analyzed in the cloud. The application is cloud based. So here the level 3 systems are powerful. Here when the data involved is big and the analysis requirements are computationally intensive. So this is level 3. So level 2 system mainly on the cloud, but the computational is slightly medium. You need not have heavy equipments like this, but the smart irrigation is one of the very simple work that you can think of in level 2. Here the analysis of data will be computationally intensive. That means that you need more processing power to handle the data. So in that case, this is how the way things works here. So monitoring node here in level 3, and it directly stores the cloud storage and analysis, and we have a database. And here again, the local in the local here we have controller service, devices, and the resources. So all the three things are available locally. It is available. Then we have REST WebSocket communication. So that means that through the web APIs, web service APIs, it can contact the cloud service. See, web service API, any web service API, let's say for example Google Cloud, and AWS, even Windows Azure, you take anything. So we have web service APIs available. So most of the web service APIs are belonging, as I already told you about doing the communication model. So one of the best web service API is available as REST APIs. Okay. So one good example I told you is the Moodle mobile app. So Moodle mobile app, it's a different platform wherein through the web service API, it just operates on it. So the similar way here, from the local to the global, so we can able to use the web service API, the REST APIs. So here the REST WebSocket communication will be opened here in the cloud to access the complete application through this app. So most of these applications will be completely. So one good example here is level 3 is nothing but the Swiggy, and even we can call Uber. So all these Zomato. So all these applications are maybe level 3 applications. So slightly, the clients are moving here and there. So based on their location. So one example is once you place an order, and the Swiggy guy, he goes to the hotel. So till he reaches the hotel or the restaurant, you can able to track him to the mobile phone through this mobile phone where he is traveling. Sometimes he carry 4 or 5 packets and go to each and every home, deliver that. That also you can able to monitor it. So it's kind of, so that means that a slightly complex application that involves so many computational tasks. So that's what here these kind of applications that we can think of in this level 3 application. So one of the application is tracking system. So mainly in the industry, the tracking system or fleet tracking, what we call. Generally we called as fleet tracking or the tracking system. So here the sensors use accelerometer and gyroscope. So gyroscope means it is for maintaining the position of the particular device, and sensors use accelerometer. Accelerometer, it is we have 2 axis as well as 3 axis accelerometer, 2 axis and 3 axis. So the 2 axis means x and y. So 3 axis means you will get z also. So it will be x, it will be y, and it will be z. All the 3 dimensions. So based on the packages and the vehicle, so how the vehicle is moving and what axis the products are been lying. So all this stuff we can able to find is in the tracking system. So here the tracking system means there are multiple vehicles will be there, huge number of products will be there, how those products can be delivered on what basis. So this application is slightly memory intensive as well as computationally need more power. So this is a level 3 system. Now level 4 systems. Level 4 system. A level 4 IoT system has multiple nodes that perform local analysis. So first, it will perform the local analysis on a multiple systems, multiple nodes. Earlier, mostly they have only one node, but now we have multiple nodes. Data stored in the cloud, and the application is cloud-based. Completely, the application is cloud-based. So here it is locally, analysis is locally done and cloud-based. Level 4 contains local and cloud-based observer nodes which can subscribe to and receive information collected in the cloud from IoT devices. So it is like usage of MQTT, possibly MQTT, publisher subscribe model. The level 4 IoT systems are suitable for solutions where multiple nodes are required. The data involved is big and the analysis requirements are computationally intensive. So that means that everything is big. Here is level 6, level 4. So computationally it is very big and we have multiple nodes are required. So now in this case, for example, I think there's a delay of let's say 2 to 4 seconds. Can you see the diagram of it, block diagram?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Tracking system. 30 level 4. Yes, sir.
Yes,
See,
sir.
now we are seeing. Right. Okay. So now slightly you just see it is slightly complex. So here there are monitoring nodes are more than one. So far we have only one monitoring node. Now we have more than one, and the data is stored in the cloud. So that is a level number 4 system. So the data, multiple data will be multiple information from multiple cloud sensor nodes will be stored in the cloud storage. Here we have, since there are monitoring nodes are more than one, so that's why each and every node has its own controller service, resource, and device. Similarly, the second node, resource, device. Like that, there are multiple nodes will be available here. Again, there's a REST-based WebSocket communication which sends to the REST APIs that can access the through this cloud services. So using AWS or Google Cloud or Azure, so they also talk to the web services. So in turn, they talk to the app and the observer node. Okay. So this is how the way the cloud, the level number 4 is being used here. And here there is an observer node. So the observer node is having connectivity with the cloud. It keeps on observing the local node. Okay. So now the IoT 3 and 4. So maybe we can call Sugi. So Sugi, now please remember, if there is only one person involved, like in a tracking system, whenever the vehicle goes out of the factory, the observer node, whatever observing locally, it have a disconnection, then everything is in the cloud because the vehicle is outside the factory moving between countries also sometimes. So it completely moves tracks using the accelerometer, gyroscope, GPS, all these things. But here the platform like Swiggy is here, there are multiple nodes are there. So many people are carrying their mobile phones, so many people are carrying their devices, they have food packets. So both involves, if it is only one person involved, then we can call it level 3. If multiple nodes are involved, we call it as it is level 4 system. And here observer node is also available in the cloud. So please see that there is an observer node in the local storage as well as it is in the cloud storage in both the places. And here we have analysis component. So intelligence, IoT intelligence. So that means that based on this observer node capacity, the intelligence can be handled. So this is how the way the intelligence. So one good example here is, let's say you are traveling in, let's say in the Ola car or Uber, you are traveling. Assume you are going in a small street where the Google map is optimizing the path. This is the route, but there is always an alternate route available somewhere here. So when the vehicle moves here, obviously it has to go like this. But since you know the route very well, so you are telling us at this stage the traffic will be more. We can't even move this way. Like this, you are just suggesting the driver to take a left instead of going in a straight. Of course, the map is showing straight, but you are taking him to the left. Okay. Now, for the second time, you are moving the same way, or the third time, fourth time, like that. So people are moving in the same way when they come in the third lane. So in future, what happens is, instead of the straight path, Google will suggest always the left path, because most of the people prefer the left side. So this kind of intelligence it will be having in level number 4. So this is one advantage here in the level because of the observer. So the observer capacity both will be in the local as well as in the cloud platform. So again, the application is completely on the cloud. Okay. So most of the applications that involve multiple nodes, like multiple clients that are moving in the particular town or a particular city, we call this a level number 4. Then level 5. Again, level 5 IoT system has multiple end nodes and one coordinator node. So they have one coordinator node also as well locally. The end nodes perform sensing and actuation. The end nodes. The coordinator node collects data from the end nodes and sends it to the cloud. So not each and everyone will be sending the data to the cloud. Only one node will be sending the data to the cloud. All other nodes will be reporting to the coordinator node. So that's what level 5. Data is stored and analyzed in the cloud, and the application is completely cloud-based. Again, the application is on cloud-based. Level 5 systems are suitable for solutions based on wireless sensor networks in which the data involved is big and the analysis requirements are computation intensive. So it is we call it as a big data. Big data. We will see that. Now see, we have a coordinator node. Please see that here we have a coordinator node, and in the level 4 we have only these two nodes. But in level 5 we have the coordinator node that sends the data to the cloud. Okay. Now we can see something like this. Let's say Big Bazaar. Big Bazaar. So you might be knowing a particular shopping portal. The supermarket where you go, you purchase things. Okay. So I don't know whether such kind of shops, Big Bazaar kind of shops, they will be having some sensing or tracking device. Let's say one good example. Usually I just refer this example. During Saturday, Sundays. Not during this pandemic. At least during the non-pandemic times. So every time during a Saturday, Sunday. So let's say evening 5 o'clock. You have to wait in a queue for getting your products to be billed. Okay, so such a very huge crowd will be there in the particular place from up to 5 to 8 o'clock in the evening. Huge people, most number of people will be there to procure. And even the beginning of the first 10 days of the month, let's say for first to 10th of the each and every month, it will be very huge crowd. Now, usually when they take the business decision, usually taken by these Big Bazaar people or this kind of supermarkets, what do they usually do is they keep on watching an eye on which products which are being sold in bulk. So they usually keep track of it. Okay. So earlier, what they do is there will be a particular person will be there. He move around the particular shop and he'll just check which are the products are being to be refilled or it has to be procured extra. So all these things he'll be doing manually. But now what do they do is they place sensors in each and every tray and each and every the storage container. So everywhere they deploy sensors. What happens is all the sensors collect the data and then report to the coordinator node. So coordinator node will be somewhere they just hidden inside a particular place where they deploy this particular sensor. What happens is, let's say one good example is there's a chocolates. So the chocolates have been sold during the Saturdays and days. The kids comes to a particular place. The chocolates have been sold in very bulk. So during that time, what happens? The chocolate has to be refilled. So the supermarket, the end of the day, they take a statistic saying that so when compared to the last 4-5 days, today the chocolate sales was very high. So we can give a great discounts tomorrow, and we can pump in, we can procure more number of chocolates. So earlier they were taking the decision based on some manual decisions made by a particular supervisor or somebody. But now everything will be done by the sensors. The sensor will always keep the watch on the tray where the chocolates are placed. When the tray is becoming half empty, it sends an alert saying that it is half empty, please come and refill. And it is full empty within, let's say, within 30 minutes or within 1 hour. Then they feel that the products are which are being very huge sale, so why can't we procure more? So that's why they can procure more, and sometimes they give heavy discounts also. So that's how the way this level 5 systems have been working. So in this case, what happens here is we have the routers and the end nodes, they communicate to the coordinator node. The coordinator node will be the one node that takes the decision. So that means that this node will have internet connectivity. So that means it's node responsible for storing the data of the cloud. Not only it's a big bazaar, as you say, it is not only in one particular city. It is there across the entire country. So there will be one common person who will be monitoring everything. So maybe somebody from the management guy, he will be knowing about in all the stores how the sales are gearing up during a Saturday, Sunday, or during each and every day of a week, or within a day, which hours, which are the hours are very in peak in demand. So all these things they will be knowing it, so they can take business decisions across the globe. So that's why please see that. So if you are in Chennai, if you are doing something, some discount will be different. If you are in Delhi, the discount will be different. So that's how the way, based on the multiple locations and multiple decisions, they will take decisions accordingly. So again, we have the end node here, the controller, resource, and the endpoint device. And again, we have multiple devices, and we have an observer node like in level number 4. And through this REST web API communication, it communicates to the cloud. And we have analysis component, intelligence here, and we have observer node here, and we have an app here. So between level 4 and 5, only one extra thing is the coordinator node. So earlier all the nodes sends the data, but here only the coordinator node will be responsible for this data. So in level number 4, you think of an application called as Swiggy, because multiple reporters are there, everyone having a phone with them. All the phones communicate the data to the cloud. So how do you know, being a customer, place an order, waiting for the food to be delivered to your home? You have an app available. So when you see the app, you can able to see where is this guy, in which way he is traveling. He is traveling in a bike and he'll be coming to your location. So by the time he reaches your house, you will be knowing it where he is. This is one application. But level 5 is within a shopping mall or within a supermarket, how they can use IoT device for communicating or taking any business decision. So this is what level number 5. So all these applications everywhere we involve this IoT technology. Actually, in the entire country, we heard that sometime back in 4-5 years back, there was a mall in Chennai. So across the country, pan India. So there is this mall was the first one. They were planning for deploying the entire mall into the IoT device using sensors. Entire mall, not only a particular supermarket, entire mall. It's somewhere in the Skywalk. The Skywalk was the one it was planned initially, but somehow the project get dropped. So that means that they wanted to plan the entire mall into the IoT mall. So it means that everywhere there will be sensors inside. The person who come inside. So there are huge number of people are there inside. The automatically the temperature goes up. So they wanted to switch on extra air conditioning. And when the number of people are very less in the mall, then automatically they'll switch off the air conditioning to avoid the electricity usage. And where the person is going inside the mall, so which stores he usually visit, he or she they usually visit. So accordingly they wanted to give some discounts or anything. So it was the plan. So one good project done by some time back, one of a final year project, I mean a couple of years back, one student did this project. So what you do is, you have a headphone with you. So you have a headphone, and in the headphone, you know that nowadays the headphones are very bulkier. So not a earphones, I'm telling about the headphones, not the earphones. So the headphone usually the earpiece is bulkier. So even you can have a Arduino board also inside a earpiece. So likewise, one student did a project on Node MCU. So the project thing is Node. He used a Node MCU. It's a controller inside the headphone. What he did is, assume that you are wearing the headphone, listening to the songs, and moving in a mall. Let's say today is July, in the month of July. Let's say, assuming today you are walking in a mall. So the mall usually you visit. Usually in weekends you visit. Okay. Now it is July 21st or so. You are walking in the mall, and when you are crossing, let's say a showroom, a shoe showroom, footwear. Okay. So a showroom. 6 months back, you have been to that particular same store in the mall you have been 6 months back. Let's say in the month of February or January, you already been there. You purchased slippers or something. You purchased in the store. Now every week you are going, but after 6 months, when you are moving, when you are crossing the particular boundary of the shop, let's say the showroom, you are crossing. There are so many shops are there in the left hand side. So your shoe showroom is here. When you started walking here, you get a voice message in your headphone. Dear Mr. Kumar, you already visited our showroom in the month of January. If you purchase the product, we have a heavy discount for you. So the discount is around 25%. Any shoes you take, any footwear you take, you get a discount of 25%. Then you are getting a voice message. You are hearing some song, suddenly you will get a voice message. Then you feel that, oh, which showroom? Then you are seeing in the right hand side, there's a shoe showroom. So you remember that you came back to the same showroom 6 months back. Then you feel you are just checking your food. Then you feel that, okay, it's time to change my slippers or it can time to purchase it. So you enter the showroom for purchasing the another pair of slippers or something. So this kind of voice-based business decisions or voice-based alerts which will be sent to the particular users. The only challenge here is sometimes you will get a SMS. So let's say based on your location, once you go to a particular mall, you will be getting SMS. Or sometimes there will be a person will be sitting outside a mall. He asks for, can you tell me your phone number, sir, so that we'll get some discounts offers or anything. And you send the phone number, he immediately send the discounts, all these things. But here, this is something different. When you're crossing a particular showroom, automatically a voice message comes to your phone, I mean to your headphone, but provided that your mobile is connected to the Wi-Fi and it will be tracking your location. So based on location, indoor positioning, based on indoor positioning of the mall, it gives a voice message. So a project has been done by the student, and he showed a demo also. In the department, the second floor, in the microprocessor lab, he showed the demo. So it was working fine. So maybe this is also one kind of work that you can think of. So in future, what happens is this kind of voice-based messaging will be very helpful for the IoT system. Okay. So this is what this IoT level number 5 that we can think of. Now next thing is IoT number 6. The last level is level number 6. So level 6 is a topmost system, has multiple independent end nodes that perform sensing and actuation and send data to the cloud. So multiple end nodes that send the data to the cloud. Data is stored in the cloud and the application is cloud based. So completely the application is cloud based. The analytics component analyzes the data and stores the result in the cloud database. The results are visualized with the cloud based application. The centralized controller is aware of the status of all the end nodes and sends control commands to those nodes. So it's a very huge application, very big application, that how they track the thing. So let's check it here. It's slightly different from IoT level 5. Here the main thing here is, here we have multiple monitoring nodes and we have a centralized controller. Earlier it was a coordinator, but now we have a centralized controller. In level 5 it is called as coordinator in L5, but here we call it as a controller, centralized controller in level 6. Okay. So here again we have the N nodes, controller, service, resource and device, which have again another centralized controller here. So these devices, they have another centralized controller which in turn talks to the cloud through web service API, and it is mobile app based, and observer node and analytic component is there, and observer node is there. So maybe a very big application is drone based delivery, you can call it as drone based delivery. So that means that let's say Amazon is doing this, so a drone based delivery system. So that means that there are multiple nodes, so the drones can communicate to the cloud directly, and all the drones can talk to a centralized controller. So the centralized controller have a connectivity to the cloud, and they can able to observe where the drones are flying for delivering any packages. Okay, so I've been in 1 or 2 places they have tested on the drones. Now there are so many researches happening here in the drone-based delivery. So even we call it as flying networks, flying ad hoc networks. So generally we call it as FANETs, FANETs, flying ad hoc networks. So what they do is multiple drones they fly. Usually when the drone is flying, multiple drones are flying, they do not talk to each other. But Fanet says that what happens if they talk to each other? That means they communicate between them. That's what the concept called as flying networks, flying ad hoc networks. So usually when you are, let's say two drones are flying, you let's say you design two drones. Batch number A design one drone, and batch number B designs another drone. So make them fly. So while they are flying in the sky or while they are flying above the ground, they can communicate message between them. The location sharing or any information sharing they want to communicate, they can communicate between them. So in turn, it will be a multi-hop communication, and those multi-hop communication can send to the centralized controller about the drone's delivery or anything. Suppose the drone is out of some battery issues, it is suffering some issues in battery, and it has to be well in a particular place. So the nearest drone it will communicate saying that I am just staying at this location. Please ask somebody to come and recover me. So something like that, drone is sending a message to the next drone. The particular drone, when it is flying, it just keeps on sending the message to another drone, like that, till it reaches the centralized controller. So then once the controller knows that, then you have a person can go to a particular location where the drone is sending, and it